Hi, everybody. Today, I'm going to dive deep into the concept of parallel realities and how shifting your consciousness can transform your entire experience of life. So, let's get into it. For starters, life is mental. The universe is pure consciousness, which is ultimately the essence of God. This divine consciousness is the raw material from which all forms arise. It underlies everything, shaping our reality based on our thoughts and beliefs. The universe acts as an invisible, infinite source that reflects back the results of our thinking. By aligning our words and intentions with truth and positivity, we activate this source, manifesting abundance and fulfillment. It responds unfailingly to the energy and focus we bring into it. Before we start, I want to introduce and discuss parallel realities and perception. So, let me just say that we are all unique beings experiencing unique realities. Each person experiences life differently, and this is based on their level of consciousness, their belief systems, their experiences, and their perceptions. Although we all live in the same world, the lens through which we view it is unique to each individual. Example, this is why two people can experience the same event but interpret it differently based on how they perceive it. Both interpretations are valid, but each reflects a different vibrational frequency or level of consciousness, which is basically just a level of awareness. For example, one person might see a breakup as devastating and another person might view it as a opportunity for growth and new beginnings. Both perspectives exist, but they represent different realities based on perception. That leads me to say perception is reality. And it's crazy because I used to have conversations about this a lot, and I used to always say that wasn't true, but it actually is. This ties directly into the idea that our reality is shaped by our perception. What we believe to be true influences how we see and experience everything in life. If we see the world as abundant, we tend to notice and attract opportunities for abundance. If we see it as scarce or limiting or chaotic, we're going to focus on lack and obstacles or problems that we might have in our life situations. This concept also plays right into the law of assumption, which states that what you assume to be true about yourself or the world becomes your reality. And this aligns with parallel realities because what you believe, whether consciously or subconsciously, creates your specific version of reality. So, now I'm going to discuss the different dimensions that people operate on. Please keep in mind that dimensions are not fixed. There are multiple interpretations, and what I'm explaining in this episode is aligned with how higher consciousness plays out in a real embodied way. So, the first dimension, this is the dimension of existence and physical matter. This is the most fundamental level of consciousness, pure being without awareness. It is the energy of survival, the core of atoms and matter. At this stage, existence is automatic, lacking thought or self reflection. Minerals, elements, infants, and even the most basic biological structures operate within this realm, simply existing without perception. For individuals functioning at this level of life, they might experience a continuous cycle of survival based instincts, fears, and automatic behaviors. The world appears hostile and limiting, with little recognition of personal power or choice. Life feels like an endless loop where circumstances may dictate their actions rather than conscious decision making. Example, someone deeply rooted in this state might feel stuck or stagnant or believe that life is unfair and that they are powerless to change their reality. In the second dimension, which is the dimension that introduces biological awareness, instincts, reactions, and survival driven cycles, but still lacks self reflection. Animals primarily operate at this level, as do children and individuals whose consciousness is heavily influenced by trauma, addiction, or personality disorders like narcissism and sociopathy. Life exists, but without depth. It is purely reactive and guided by impulses rather than introspection. At this stage, the mind is ruled by instincts, much like the individuals that you may have heard called reptilians, which govern survival, dominance, and territorial behavior. Those who operate at this level often exhibit predatory tendencies, such as seeking power or control or external validation without genuine self awareness. Their actions are driven by a need to secure resources, establish dominance, or even manipulate their environment rather than by conscious reflection or higher wisdom. At these lower levels of consciousness, personal development is seen to be limited, and individuals often depend on external sources, whether it's people, substances, or circumstances, to pretty much regulate their emotions and maintain stability. Just as a child relies on a parent for security, an adult trapped in this state might rely on others for validation or self worth. However, growth allows for the transition from dependence to independence. As individuals move towards higher dimensions of consciousness, they will shift from external reliance to internal stability, where fulfillment and energy come from within rather than anything external to give them validation. And to be very clear, that's only if they choose to grow. Some people stay here until the end of their days, literally. They just go throughout life with no self awareness, no introspection, no growth, no nothing. And then it's over. So let's talk about the 3D. This is the matrix. Honestly, this is where most of society is stuck. If you're watching this video, you might be operating in this dimension right now. At this level of consciousness, you are trapped in duality, constantly chasing money, status, and external validation. Life feels like it's happening to you. You might be stuck in survival mode, living based on fear, comparison, and the belief that there's never enough, which is a state of lack. This dimension is parallel to what we are taught to know as hell. In this dimension, you are likely to be identified with your ego, aka the false self, believing that your thoughts are your own. You might be experiencing a lack of purpose or possibly unfulfilled with life. This dimension is very productivity based and tied to achievements or even feeling limited. You might also believe that you are separate from God and that God is separate from yourself. As we move through the dimensions of consciousness, it is important to recognize that this journey isn't just a theory. It is real and it is personal. I personally lived here for 27 years, just living life on autopilot, chasing a life that did not align with my soul in any way, shape, or form. I was a teacher. I had my second awakening. My first one was actually in 2020, but I abandoned it. And honestly, that's a story time within itself. Let me know if y'all want to know what happened. Leave a comment. But, anyways, my reality in the 3D was literally suffocating the life out of me. Something just did not feel right, and I desperately wanted more for myself. And I knew that there was more to life than what I was experiencing at that moment. I was very miserable, very unhappy, and I felt disconnected, but I didn't know why I felt the way that I did. Many of you might be feeling the same dissatisfaction with your current reality, wondering how you even got here on earth, questioning your purpose, and thinking about what's the point of all of this shit? Like, what is the point of life? Well, that feeling is a sign that you're ready to shift into the fourth dimension of consciousness. Your soul is being called to evolve. But as with all growth, there is a challenge. Ask yourself, what are you willing to let go of to bring in the life that you desire? This is a sign that your soul is ready to ascend. This is the shifting into the fourth dimension. So let's talk about the 4D. This is where the awakening and the transition starts to happen. This is the process of becoming. A lot of people experience this period of awakening but are unwilling to release the attachments that might come with their current reality. When you evolve, as I stated earlier, you might find yourself questioning everything, literally everything. You could possibly become more interested in self development, spiritual enlightenment, which stems from curiosity that you might have about life. Inner conflict, such as a part of you wanting to grow and the other part being stuck in comfort, and so on. In the 4D, you begin to disidentify with your egoic mind and learn about your true nature as a spiritual being having a human experience. You realize that you are a direct manifestation and expression of God. Accepting this truth helps you understand that you are powerful. You are a multidimensional being instead of a powerless victim in your life circumstances. Your life will begin to align with who you truly are and not who you were programmed to be. And this is your stage of becoming, the beginning of your evolution and the remembrance of your soul. You will start to see through the matrix. This is where the shift happens. Many are called, but baby, few are chosen. The fifth dimension, this is the dimension of oneness. This is what is known to be the Christ consciousness. This is where things really start to take a change. You have awakened to the truth that God is within you. You start living from love, presence, and oneness rather than fear, worry, anxiety, and doubt. You're no longer attached to outcomes or external validation. You just be. You're just living life in the flow of life. You realize and understand the connection of all beings and life. You know that love is the highest frequency and the key to spiritual growth. And in this dimension, you experience inner peace, balance, freedom, and so on. You are enlightened to the fact that time is an illusion and the only time that truly exists is now. Now, in this very moment, is the only moment that you have. The past and the future is merely a figment of your imagination. It only exists in your mind. Think about it. A few books that I recommend to get you here and understand this is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. As we ascend into the sixth dimension, the dimension of reality creation and you being a master manifester living in God's will, you are flowing with the flow of life, baby. Okay? Life is a breeze. You understand and believe that everything is happening for a reason and everything is unfolding exactly the way that it should. You are trusting God's plan and His divine timing, even if you don't understand. You're not chasing, baby. You're attracting, you're aligning, and you're allowing. You have the ability to consciously co-create your reality and manifest heaven on earth. Life is happening through you and not to you. You are the architect of reality and you have access to divine intelligence. You are experiencing inspiration and have access to higher wisdom. Examples of individuals that have operated on this dimension would be Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and even Noah, the builder of the ark. Some modern day celebrities that I would say are operating on this dimension would be people like Michael Jackson or Drake, Glorilla, even Kanye, even Sexy Red. Basically, just all people who had a vision for themselves in their lives and believed it would happen for them. People who embody a vision directly from God go all in and they are operating from the 6D. The seventh and eighth dimension are equal to enlightenment, divine wisdom. This is where you might hear the term oversoul view. You see the entire matrix from above. You are accessing soul level wisdom. You are accessing your higher self and the blueprints of reality. You have tapped into the Akashic fields, which are the templates of existence, the higher architecture behind the 3D and 4D experience. You embody enlightened mastery. This is the dimension of consciousness that Jesus and Buddha walked in. Basically, I would say 70 and beyond. This is where the term ascended master comes into play. I see all, I understand all. In this dimension, you know the truth and you are truly walking in your power. You're fully aligned with your higher self, carrying the knowledge and deep understanding of how the world works and the universal laws that govern it. You know you are multidimensional. Nothing is linear and everything is intertwined. You have full access to the past, present, and the future. You have sacred knowledge and understanding of universal truth. You operate from pure awareness, which is the Christ consciousness amplified, like times 10, okay? You have the divine mind. You're fully awakened. You've reached spiritual mastery. You express higher knowledge, which is the gospel, and you move through life anchored in divine wisdom. You are high vibrational and you have embodied transformative energy. You are the chosen one. You are the generational curse breaker. You are an inspiration to others. In the ninth dimension, you have fully embodied God's essence. You are one with Source, and Source flows through you effortlessly. This is the God frequency, the I am in full power. I am the creator. I am all that is. This is the dimension of unfiltered consciousness. No dark, no duality, no pain, no time. Perfect harmony, infinite light. This non duality is pure awareness untouched by form. Some have accessed this frequency through meditation, prayer, or even near death experiences, as well as peak spiritual awakenings. But sustained embodiment in physical form is rare. In the 10th dimension, you are the cosmic architect. You're seeding galaxies, birthing worlds, creating realities from pure divine essence. Creation beyond form, beyond thought, which is a pure source flow. Here, you move as creation itself, beyond limitation and beyond identity. In the 11th dimension, you are infinite intelligence, aware of all timelines, all possibilities, and all realms. Everything exists simultaneously, and you are the observer and the creator of it all. No limit, no end. You are one with the cosmic mind, vast, all knowing, and eternal. In the 12th dimension, you have total unity with all existence. You are source, pure consciousness, pure love, and pure power. There is no separation, there is no self, only oneness. You are fully emerged with all, the Alpha and the Omega. The divine spark returns home, complete, whole, and eternal.